On May 14th, 2025, the US dropped a bombshell. Anyone, anywhere in the world, using Huawei's AI chips, like the Ascend series, could face prison for violating US export controls, per the Financial Times. This isn't just a ban on a Chinese tech giant, it's an unprecedented claim to police global technology, even in Beijing's backyard. The US Huawei tech war, sparked in 2019, has escalated from chip sanctions to threats of jail time, targeting Huawei's 5G and AI dominance. But Huawei's fighting back, and history, from encryption bans to Cold War tech fights, suggests this crackdown may crash and burn. This is the fault line shaking your digital world. Welcome to Tech Fault Line, where we expose the cracks threatening your future. The latest salvo hit on May 14, 2025, when the U.S. Bureau of Industry and Security declared that using Huawei's Ascend AI chips, designed for AI models like ByteDance's Douyin, violates U.S. export controls, even if you're a Chinese firm in Shanghai, per Nikkei Asia. Why? These chips use U.S.-derived tech, like EDA software or TSMC's 7-nanometer processes, making them subject to U.S. law, per the Financial Times. Violators face fines or imprisonment under the Export Administration regulations, a move called unprecedented by analyst Kevin Wolf on X. Huawei's Mate 60 Pro already defied bans with a 7-nanometer SMIC chip in 2023, but this global threat aims to choke its AI ambitions. The stakes? A $150 billion Chinese chip industry and global AI supremacy. The war started in 2012 when Congress banned Huawei's 5G gear from U.S. networks, citing espionage risks via Chinese intelligence laws, per the Council on Foreign Relations. By May 15, 2019, Trump added Huawei and 70 affiliates to the Commerce Department's entity list for Iran sanctions violations, blocking U.S. chip sales from Intel and Qualcomm, per Reuters. In 2020, the ban expanded, barring foreign firms like TSMC from using U.S. tech to make Huawei's Kirin chips, per the Washington Post. Huawei's phone sales crashed 41% in Q4 2020, per CNET, and its 5G contracts wobbled. The U.S. wanted to kneecap Huawei's global lead, supplying 81 countries 5G networks, per CFR, but China's comeback was brewing. This is about who rules the future. The U.S. fears Huawei's Ascend chips could power China's AI-driven weapons, hypersonic missiles, or mass surveillance, per CSIS. The 2025 ban targets advanced node chips, 3 nanometers to 7 nanometers, crucial for AI and military tech, per VOA. Since 2022, the U.S. blacklisted 176 Chinese firms, including 36 in 2022 and 140 in 2024, per Wiley, and now threatens jail for global users, per Nikkei Asia. China's response? A $150 billion chip subsidy program, per CSIS, fueling Huawei's 64% smartphone sales surge in Q1 2024, per EE Times. X posts hail Huawei's defiance, but the U.S.'s extraterritorial reach, claiming jurisdiction over Chinese firms in China, has sparked outrage, per X user at Renaud Bertrand. U.S. chip makers like Qualcomm saw a 20% China sales drop in 2024, per CNBC. Consumers face pricier phones and delayed 5G. 81 countries still use Huawei's 5G gear, per CFR. The imprisonment threat risks alienating allies. Japan and the Netherlands, home to ASML, sold $2.6 billion in chip tools to China in Q2 2023, per Project M, USE. Global chip shortages hit 15% in 2024, per the Semiconductor Industry Association, hiking gadget costs. If China's AI chip market, $7 billion in 2024, per CSIS, keeps growing, your tech could be caught in the crossfire. The ban's crumbling. China evades sanctions via smuggling and shell companies, with $390 million in Nvidia GPUs smuggled through Malaysia in 2024, per CSIS. Huawei tricked TSMC into making 2 million Ascend 910B chiplets via a shell firm, per Asia Times, prompting a U.S. probe in October 2024, per Reuters. Shenzhen markets openly sell banned chips, per CSIS. Huawei's Ascend 91C, rivaling Nvidia's H100, powers Baidu and ByteDance per Wired. China's $150 billion chip push birthed Tsinghua's memristor chip for AI per CSIS. The US controls tools like ASML's EUV machines, but China's SMIC made 7-nanometer chips without them, per Reuters. This extraterritorial jail threat may scare some, but enforcement's a nightmare. History screams caution. In the 1990s, the US banned encryption software exports under ITAR, fearing Russian spying per the Electronic Frontier Foundation. It backfired. Open-source PGP encryption spread globally, costing US firms $35 billion by 2000 per a 1999 Commerce Department report. Cold War Qualcomm bans on tech exports to GEC countries, Soviet bloc nations, failed when the USSR reverse-engineered IBM mainframes by 1989 per the National Security Archive. The 1986 US-Japan Semiconductor Agreement, meant to crush Japan's chip lead, shifted innovation to South Korea and Taiwan, per Douglas Irwin's 1996 study. Bans don't stop tech, they redirect it, and China's learning fast. China's striking back. Huawei's Mate 60 Pro in 2023 used a 7-nanometer SMIC chip, bypassing ASML's EUV ban, per Reuters. SMIC's 5-nanometer progress keeps Huawei 1 to 2 years behind Qualcomm, per Wiley. China's $150 billion chip subsidies fuel HiSilicon's Ascend chips, now used by 70,000 servers, per Asia Times. Cloud services from Google and Amazon skirt US bans, per Rest of World. In 2024, China probed Nvidia for anti-monopoly violations, threatening $13.5 billion fines, per Rhodium Group. X-posts celebrate Huawei's triumph over US sanctions, per X Sentiment. The imprisonment threat may intimidate, but China's self-reliance is accelerating. The imprisonment threat is a desperate escalation, but it's likely to fail. Enforcing jail time globally is a legal quagmire. How do you arrest a Chinese CEO in Beijing, per ex-user at Renaud Bertrand? The bans push China's chip independence, with SMIC's 7-nanometer chips and Huawei's Ascend 91C, proving sanctions don't stop innovation, per Bloomberg. US firms suffer. Intel's $11.5 billion inventory piles up, per EE Times, and Qualcomm's China sales fell 20%, per CNBC. Allies like the Netherlands face trade losses. ASML's $2.6 billion China sales are at risk, per Project Muse. Like encryption and GC bans, this risks driving tech innovation to China, leaving the US isolated. The tech war's fault line is fracturing. The US Huawei Chip Ban, now threatening prison for global users, is a bold but flawed move. In a tech war, it's losing. From 2019's Entity List to 2025's extraterritorial crackdown, Huawei's defied sanctions, with Ascend chips and SMIC's 7-nanometer tech closing the gap. History, encryption, GC, Japan shows bans breed rival innovation, not defeat. China's $150 billion chip surge and smuggling networks are outpacing US controls. If China overtakes the US in AI and 5G, markets could crash. Tech investments fell 15% in Q4 2024, per Morningstar. This is the fault line threatening your gadgets and security. If this shook you, smash that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, is the US ban doomed? We're back